just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark.
No need for referendum, says Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama. Fiji TV sells its shares in EMTV to Telecom PNG. And Fiji and Russia expect to sign bilateral cooperation plans soon. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate, and this is FBC News. Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama says there's no need to hold a referendum to change Fiji's flag. He says Fijians have been informed of the process to change the national flag. Akosita Tale with the story.
There have been some criticisms about the government's decision to change the national flag. Some prefer the British symbols to our own, while some political parties called for a referendum. Prime Minister Bainimarama today told FBC News there is no need for a referendum, as he has informed Fijians of the processes involved to include Fijians in the changing of the flag. However, he is pleased that many Fijians have accepted the decision.
I urge you all to support this initiative, to look to the future, not look to the past, to give every Fijian a symbol we can be even more proud of as we build a stronger and more unified nation and achieve the greatness that we all believe we are capable of.
Bainimarama says the change has attracted international interest from India and China to Venezuela and around the globe. The positive change has made news on 5 continents in the last 48 hours.
It has appeared in the great media outlets in the world, the BBC, the New York Times, the Times of London and Wall Street Journal, which referred in its headline to Fiji, breaking the shackles of colonialism.
The British Commissioner to Fiji, Roderick Drummond, told FBC News yesterday that the flag is a matter for the Fijian government and the people, and ties will not be severed. This has been welcomed by the Prime Minister.
I want to again stress that Britain remains our friend, and we will always value our historical link to Britain and to the British Crown. We also value the infrastructure the British left us, such as the magnificent site of our new parliament and all those great British institutions that remain.
Fijians, including students, have been encouraged to join the effort to design a symbol for the new flag.
A national panel of citizens established by the government and broadly representatives of all Fijians will then examine those designs and work for the Parliament to make a final selection.
At this point, Fijians will have a say about the designs they prefer. The aim is to hoist a genuine Fijian flag on the 45th anniversary of our independence on 10th October this year. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
Fiji Television Limited has today officially divested its shares in Media New Guinea Limited, which owns EMTV. Group CEO for Fijian Holdings Limited, Fiji TV's majority shareholder, Nozab Farid, says the sale is because of the growing competition in the market in Papua New Guinea, with 2 new television services launched last year. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
It's a sale that's been on the books for the last 2 years. Today's sign-off officially sees an end of an innovative era for Fiji TV in the divestment of its shares of Media New Guinea, owners of MTV. Sold for 25.8 million Fijian dollars, equivalent to 27 million kina, Fiji TV's cash cow is now PNG's. FHL Group CEO Nozab Farid says Fiji TV will now look at refocusing its growth.
I think the success of Media New Guinea is local production. So I'm sure Fiji TV should focus on that as well. There's a big demand for local production, and it is in terms of net income, that is the best things to do. So definitely we'll be doing a lot of local stuff. So I'm sure when the time is right, we'll come with some plans for Fiji TV.
For Media New Guinea's new owners, Telecom PNG, the acquisition plays nicely into their expansion plans.
Media landscape in Papua New Guinea is changing and changing dramatically with the introduction of competition, digital competition. So for us from the telecommunications industry, the acquisition of this business helps us develop our own convergence strategy.
Farid explaining that the decision to sell was simply the inability to keep up with PNG's competition.
Media New Guinea almost had 90% of the market share. And suddenly we got two more serious players. So when the competitors come in, you have two choices. You put more money and defend your market position, or you give to somebody who can defend the market position.
Fiji TV bought Media New Guinea in 2008. The investment then was seen as a bold step into a developing market. According to Farid, the company will now look towards branching into the Solomon Islands and Samoa. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Fiji and Russia have set out a plan for bilateral cooperation, which is expected to be signed soon. The bilateral cooperation plan was initiated during the first consultation at the senior officials level between Russia and Fiji in Suva yesterday. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
Fiji and Russia established relations in 2010, paving the way for enhanced relations between the two countries.
Over the years, we have begun on a new journey, particularly in deepening our bilateral relations. There have been a lot of areas of cooperation in the past, particularly last year, and we have continued to discuss other areas in which Russia has provided opportunities.
The bilateral cooperation plan calls for further enhancement of relations.
We initiated today a plan of our bilateral cooperation plan between our two ministries, and I hope it will be signed very soon and will be fulfilled.
According to Fiji's acting permanent secretary for Foreign Affairs, Salanayasi, the consultation covered a range of issues of interest that will benefit Fiji.
There have been a lot of areas that we've discussed today, particularly those that would benefit both our countries, not only in terms of development issues, ranging from climate change to air services agreement, areas of tourism, the areas of cooperations in the United Nations, capacity building and in education, and also new areas in which we are hoping to explore.
The visiting Deputy Foreign Minister for Russia also acknowledged Fiji's political development.
We welcome the independent foreign policy conducted by Fiji. We welcome the process of democratization and market economy reforms in your country.
The areas of interest discussed not only relates to Fiji's bilateral relations with Russia, but also with the UN and other international countries. The two ministries will meet again to finalize the bilateral cooperation plan. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
Margulov met with Defense Minister Timothy Natuva today and discussed possible areas of bilateral cooperation in military and military technical field. Coming up, Fiji and Australia discuss MOU for seasonal worker program, and a signing is expected soon.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulablaga. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
This is FBC News. Fiji and Australia are expected to sign a memorandum of understanding for a seasonal workers scheme within a few weeks. Fiji has had 2 rounds of talks with the Australian High Commission in Suva about the issue, and they are looking forward to the signing of the MOU. Savara Tamboa has more.
With work well underway to send 30 people to New Zealand under the seasonal workers scheme, the focus is now on Australia. The Ministry of Employment hopes to finalise names of workers bound for Australia at the earliest.
We are anticipating, again, based on cabinet's decision, right? So, God willing, maybe before the end of February, we should something positive come through, and that's actually what we are planning for from within.
Balindra Kandroka says there is a wide range of opportunities available for Fijians in the scheme provided by Australia.
That includes workers in the hotel and tourism industry, right, accommodation, and there is in the aquaculture industry, okay, likewise in cotton and sugarcane farming. This is in addition to horticulture or fruits. So there's really a range of opportunities available there to our people at this point in time.
The Australian High Commission in Suva says that they are close to finalising the MOU and hope to sign it as soon as possible. Australia's Foreign Minister Julie Bishop extended a memorandum of understanding for the seasonal worker program when she visited the country in October last year. When signed, these documents establish a commitment by the governments of Australia and Fiji to establish and maintain labour signing and receiving arrangements for the program that will deliver benefits to Fijians and assist Australian employers to meet their seasonal demand for labour. Once these steps are completed, the Fijian government will provide advice about how Fijian citizens can apply to participate in the seasonal worker program. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
The trial proper of the 6 men involved in an alleged bank robbery just over 2 years ago began today at the Suva High Court. The case began proper before Judge Justice Salesi Temo. Chanel Sivan was at the Suva High Court.
3 years after the alleged robbery at the Samambula branch of the Bank of the South Pacific in Suva, the trial proper has begun. Tavita Sungu and Kunal Prasad are charged with aggravated robbery, while Sodomaning Gurai, Chosaya Usumaki, Ipeling Garaningio and Deshwar Dutt with receiving stolen property, namely sharing the $70,000 that was alleged to have been stolen in the heist. All of the accused have pleaded not guilty to the charges. 3 employees of the bank took the witness stand today and testified. They said they saw 3 masked men entering the bank that day at around 1 to 2 p.m. They also said they saw a white Toyota Hiace vehicle crashing into the bank through the wooden wall beside the ATM. None of the witnesses could identify any of the suspects, saying the heist was done within seconds and their faces were covered. It's also made known to the court that none of the stolen money can be traced or identified, as at the time they did not take down the serial numbers. Also stolen was some foreign currencies. Most of the money was recovered by the police. The trial continues in the Suva High Court. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
Residents of Navua have applauded the government's move to open the Legal Aid Commission office in the river town. People living in and around Navua earning an income of $15,000 or less can now have access to free legal assistance. Akusita Tale was in Navua today.
Residents say now they won't have to travel to Suva to seek free legal assistance.
Good thing since we are staying in rural areas, and most of the people, they usually go to Suva, and that's why it's a good thing they bring it over in Navua.
Majority of the people, or even our students, didn't know what is legal aid. As soon as they came here, they started asking questions, and then now they know that even a small thing, just drawing up a their will or anything, they can come here, because majority of the people have no idea what the law is actually about.
Papers for the public, and so far people were traveling from Navua to Suva for going to look for the office. Now we are happy that the office will be here in Navua.
The government is urging all Fijians who need a lawyer and qualifies for legal aid assistance to make use of the program. The creation of the legal aid offices around the country has also created more than 100 employment for legal aid commission staff.
For no cost at all, if you meet the means test we have set, you can defend yourself against a criminal charge. You can deal with family law matters, such as getting custody of children or enforcing maintenance payments. You can get a will drafted to leave your possession to your loved ones. You can take out letters of administration to get help with probate matters and FNPF withdrawal.
The Attorney General Ayaz Sayed Qayyum says the government not only wants people to have access to the legal aid services, but through the commission they want to demystify the law.
We've even seen people who are well educated Even though they may not be lawyers, even though they may be educated well, they think, oh, we can't understand this. You can. We're here to tell you that you can. We're here to tell you that the law is not a very complicated matter. It only becomes complex in certain instances, but most of the law that we deal with in our day-to-day lives is not complicated.
The Legal Aid Commission has plans to continue expanding its services.
From 3 offices in 2006, we have indeed come a long way in the last few years, as we now have 10 offices in almost all towns and cities. And we are ready with 3 more offices in Savu-Savu, Tavua and Korovo.
The Legal Aid Commission will this year work on opening its offices in Levuka, Taveuni, Rotuma and Kandavu, which will bring the total number of officers to 17. Akusita Talei, FBC News.
Sports is up next. Here's Jamie with the latest. Aw, happy birthday, Jamie.
Seriously.
Yes. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to our man in the suit. And you know what? I was looking up today in history, February 5th. And you know, there's been earthquakes, there's been swine flu went out in 1976. And then today, it started raining and the sun came out again. So you know what they say. Happy birthday, Jamie, from the FBC team.
Jackie's on a roll today. She tweeted embarrassing photos of me on Facebook and on Twitter celebrating my birthday. So I think it's only fair, Jackie, that since you've gone through all this effort, you have to sing happy birthday to me on news.
Really?
Yes, you have to sing.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Okay, enough. I think we've lost enough viewers by now. Back to our bulletin. Good evening. Coming up in sports, Fijian footballer Roy Krishna is excited about coming to play in Fiji in June, and Pacific Games organizers confident that facilities will be ready in time. We'll have these stories and more after the break.
बॉलीवुड हीरो पंती रे. Get this.
हीरो सपना दिखेला बंद करो.
क्या करूं यार, सबको आती नहीं, मेरी जाती नहीं. मिर्ची मस्त मॉर्निंग में हूँ अश्निल सिंह.
हाय, मैं हूँ काजल.
शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
6 AM to 9 AM.
मिर्ची FM, it's hot.
Welcome back to FBC Sports. Fijian football wonder boy Roy Krishna is excited about coming to Fiji in June with his Wellington Phoenix side to play exhibition matches. The tour was announced in a launch last night by Fiji Airways, who will be using it to start its Nandi to Wellington service. However, in a twist, Krishna will not play for the Phoenix. He will feature in the Fiji side. Rohit there with the details.
This as the announcement was made that the Wellington Phoenix are headed to Fiji in June.
It's an honor, and it's not only for Fiji soccer but also for the Wellington boys, because some of them haven't been to Fiji yet. So it's an honor and taking the mates back home and showing their.
And while the Phoenix are coming, their deadly striker is most likely to be a thorn for them.
Annie has already said that I'm going to play for my country, so it's an honor, like I said, to play for the country, and it'll be a good match.
Tua has put smiles on many people's faces. Even Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan is excited with what lies ahead.
Fantastic for a footballer from Fiji coming and making a professional career for himself, and like I said, it may well lead to others. You look at what Rugby Sevens has done to so many people in Fiji, so we were more than happy to be of assistance and support Fiji Airways and also Roy.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Football Association has welcomed the news, saying the tour will help the national teams prepare for upcoming tournaments. The association.
We are excited that one of our super star, Mr. Roy Krishna, who is also the ambassador for Fiji football, will be coming to play with Wellington Phoenix in front of the home crowd. And this is something that we are very proud. And as Fiji football is concerned, we are happy that Wellington Phoenix have decided to come here with partnership with Fiji Airways. thankful to Fiji Airways for coming on board and making sure this does happen. And this will be a very good build-up for us for the Nations Cup that we prepare for the national teams, and also to the under-23 team that will be going to Pacific Games.
The Phoenix is the only New Zealand-based team featured in the A-League competition, with all other clubs based in Australia. Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan is keeping his cards close to his chest as he maps out a strategy to capture the Wellington Sevens title. Fiji's last victory in Wellington was in 2010, and Ryan says his side is more determined than ever to get their World Series campaign back on track. Tsalen Daudakadaka reports.
The energy levels within the Vodafone Fiji Sevens camp continues to rise as the opening day of the Wellington Sevens draws nearer. Coach Ben Ryan says training this week has been nothing short of impressive, citing similarities with the preparation they had prior to the Gold Coast Sevens last year.
Today's training session this morning was outstanding, very sharp, boys are focused. I think a little bit like Gold Coast, they feel like this is a new season, 2015, and they want to do well. They certainly want to even things up against Australia on Friday night and then go forward into the Cup on Saturday and go all the way.
Relaxed ruthlessness is the term Ryan describes the atmosphere in the camp and says this signals the determination of the players to win the Cup final on Saturday.
I think once teams start to see the quality of performance that we put in, a bit like we did in Gold Coast, there's this air of inevitability that Fiji are going to win the tournament. And if we can get that into other opposition's heads early in this tournament, then great things can happen as well. So it's exciting. These next 2 weeks, I'm very excited. I'm really pleased with the effort of the boys. And, you know, it'll be a little bit of bounce of luck I'm sure we're going to need. We're going to need to keep all 12 fresh, but no reason why we can't come away with the title this weekend.
It will take a monumental effort for the Vodafone Fiji Sevens side to capture the Wellington Sevens title, but Ryan is confident the players can deliver come game time. Tsalen Daudakadaka, FBC Sports.
Our apologies, that was not the intro that we read earlier, but regarding the Fiji Sevens team. Ben Ryan is keeping his cards close to his chest as he prepares for the Wellington Sevens. Fiji has not won in Wellington since 2010, and he says his side is more determined than ever to get their World Series campaign back on track. And remember, you can watch the entire Wellington Sevens live right here on FPC TV starting tomorrow at 11 a.m. You can also catch radio commentary on FPC's Bula FM. Organizers of the 2015 Pacific Games in Papua New Guinea say preparations for the event are on track. Pacific Games Council President Vidya Lakan and other officials were in Port Moresby this week to survey the facilities. Lakan says they believe nothing will stand in the way of the opening on July 4th.
Admittedly, as you'd have known from your own personal experiences, that the venues are not quite ready as yet, but we are confident that they will be ready come 31st of May.
We're all working together as a team, the Minister's Office, the Authority, the Olympic Committee, because it needs all of us to work together to make sure that the Games are successful. So I suppose, from the Games Organising Committee, there's a lot of work yet to be done, but we believe, we've got things in place and people in place to make sure that come 4th of July, the opening ceremony, everything that needs to be ready will be ready.
We've had a number of milestones that we reached earlier this year in terms of team numbers. People across the region are really starting to finalise their numbers and the amount of people, athletes and officials that will come. So it's a very critical time for them to feel comfortable and confident that the fields of play at each of the sporting venues will be ready for them, and the accommodation at the Games Village will be in good condition.
The 2015 Pacific Games will be held from July 4th to the 18th. A new format will be implemented in the Skipper Cup competition this year. The announcement was made by the Fiji Rugby Union today at Rugby House. According to FRU, the changes have been done to save on travelling costs and also to intensify competition in the top grade.
We will be reducing our Skipper Cup or major union teams down to 8. So we will be using this year as a qualifying year towards that 8. This year, the bottom 4 from the current 12 will be going down to the telecom competition. And the telecom competition, formerly known as the B division competition, Telecom Fiji competition, will now be run concurrently with the Skipper Cup tournament.
The Skipper Cup competition starts on the 15th of May. That was your sports for this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
A story FBC News ran last night stated that the Kinoya power plant in Asinu, which is still under construction, will be up and running soon. In fact, construction work, which is being undertaken by Pernix Fiji Limited, is expected to be completed towards the end of the year. We also mentioned that the 4 generators for the power plant cost $60 million each. $60 million is the cost of the whole project. Cloudy conditions and afternoon showers were experienced over most places today. A trough of low pressure lies just to the west of Fiji. Meanwhile, northeasterly wind flow prevails over Fiji. Maximum temperatures today dip slightly from the 30s to 29 in Lambasa and Savu-Savu. Suva, however, topped with 34 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast: occasional showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, afternoon or evening showers. Isolated thunderstorms are also expected. Saturday's outlook: occasional showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands, afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. And the main points again: Prime Minister Vorengem Bainimarama says there's no need to hold a referendum to change Fiji's flag. Fiji Television Limited has today officially divested its shares in Media New Guinea Limited, which owns MTV, and Fiji and Russia have set out a plan for bilateral cooperation, which is expected to be signed soon. To our poll question, this week, in light of the recent drowning of an under-17 player, we ask, should managers travel with Fiji soccer teams on overseas trips? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tip at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That's our news for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. Good evening.
घर संसार में आपका स्वागत है। आपका अपना छोटा सा स्वर, जहाँ प्यार भरे रिश्ते पलते हैं, जहाँ हेल्थी रहने की सलाह दी जाती है, जहाँ हम आपको और भी सुंदर बनाते हैं और जहाँ स्वाद की सौगात भी है। नमस्कार, मैं हूँ पल्लवी। सोमवार से शुक्रवार 9 से 12 तक रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर घर संसार में शामिल रहिए मेरे साथ। ऐसा सुंदर सपना अपना